All camera persons, please be still. All camera persons, please be still. Without taking Your Excellency, President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic, former Head of State, Your Excellency General Kawan, former Head of State General Abdulsalami Abubakar, and Chairman of the National Peace Committee, Your Excellency Thabo Mbeki, former President of the Republic of South Africa, Your Excellency Dr. Joyce Banda, former President of Malawi, Your Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, former President of the Republic of Kenya, Honorable Ministers here present, Secretary General of the Commonwealth, Right Honorable Baroness Patricia Scotland, Chairman of political parties, presidential candidates and vice presidential candidates.
So he's giving us one seat because we can't keep 3 seats for him.
No, but somebody represents.
Service chiefs,
Yes.
the Chief of Defense Staff, and the Inspector General of Police, the Chief of Staff to His Excellency Mr. President,
The political parties are.
Your Excellencies, Ambassadors and High Commissioners accredited to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC Commissioners here present, our Royal Fathers, esteemed members of the National Peace Committee, very distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the second signing of the National Peace Accord by political parties and presidential candidates ahead of the 2023 presidential elections. On the 29th of September 2022, in this same auditorium, political party chairmen and the presidential candidates signed the first National Peace Accord, pledging their commitment to issue-based and violence-free campaigns ahead of voting. The elections are in 72 hours. It is important to underscore the point that the National Peace Committee has, as it were, now become part of our electoral process. both general and off-site. The process began 8 years ago, ahead of the 2015 general elections. But it points to the fact also that this year's elections are probably like no other in the history of our country, more especially since the advent of the Fourth Republic in 1999. So much so that the Peace Committee took the unprecedented step of summoning an intermediate meeting between the first accord and the second to remind the political parties and candidates of their pledge. So today, ahead of voting on Saturday, we're back here for the second signing, a solemn occasion, and it's my pleasure at this time to most humbly and respectfully invite the chairman of the National Peace Committee, former head of state, General Abubakar, to give his welcome remarks. Your Excellency.
Your Excellency, Mr. President, I have, Mr. President, permission to adopt the existing protocol. Your Excellency, I want to welcome to the signing ceremony of the second peace accord for the 2023 general election. I want to welcome His Excellency President Muhammad Buhari, DCFR, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces and President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Honorable Minister of Federal Capital Territory, the Honorable Minister of Defense, His Excellency the Governor of Plateau State, other Honorable Ministers here present, General Yakubu Gawan, all past heads of states and presidents, the members of the National Peace Committee, and other former presidents, heads of state, heading the various observer teams. Political parties, chairmen, presidential candidates, the Secretary General of the Commonwealth, Honorable Patricia Scott, the UN Secretary General on the Prevention of Genocide, the joining of ambassadors, members of the Diplomatic Corps, and the Ambassador of the European Union, the Swiss Ambassador, the United Nations, ECOWAS, UNOWAS, and all other ambassadors present. Furthermore, I welcome the Chief of Defense Staff, Inspector General of Police, the INEC Chairman and his Commissioners, civil society organizations, media houses, and everyone who has responded to our invitation to come to the signing. As mentioned by the DJ, last year, on 29 September 2022, the National Peace Committee organized the first signing of the National Peace Accord, committing the candidates to engage on issue-based campaign. Having said that, we monitored the compliance of the code by these politicians, and we recorded some of the infractions that were a thing of concern. There was some lack of compliance by the major political parties. 44% of the violations were carried out by the spokesperson of the political parties. 26% by party members. 19% by the presidential candidate themselves. 11% by hardcore supporters, and 4% by the chairman of the parties. Since the start of the official campaign on the 20th of 2022, there have been 60 attacks recorded on political fertilities, with the highest number in the southwest and southeast, and the lowest in the northeast and north central. This is according to data collated by the Nigeria Election Violence Tracker. Your Excellencies, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and its staff have also been target of violence, with over 134 incidents recorded, with 53 direct attacks on her infrastructure since the 2019 elections, 9 of which have taken place in the campaign period, with 1 fatality. 2/3 of the attacks have been in the southeast. Other states affected: Ogun and Edo states. Your Excellencies, according to data released by the Commission, Imo State has 11, Osun has 7, Enugu has 5, Akwa Ibom 5, Ebonyi 4, Cross River State 4, Abia 4, Anambra 2, Taraba 2, Kaduna 1, Borno 1, Bayelsa 1, Ondo 1, Lagos 1, and Ogun State 1. As a nation, we've got to put a stop to all these. That is why, on 20th January 2023, we convened a meeting of presidential candidates and the party chairman to discuss the existing and emerging issues regarding the way the campaigns were conducted and the need for parties to moderate their views. Now that the election is only a few hours away, we are here to witness the second signing of the National Peace Accord to commit the presidential candidates, their party chairmen, and their parties to accept the outcome of the elections as long as it is judged to be free, fair, and credible. And where anybody has grievances, to seek legitimate and peaceful means of addressing any concern that may arise thereafter. In this regard, Your Excellencies, I want to encourage political parties to respect that only the INEC has the constitutional authority to announce the results and to ensure that their supporters refrain from disseminating fake news, misinformation, disinformation, and avoid statements that will incite violence after the result of the election must have been announced. Similarly, I urge all political parties, their presidential candidates, all Nigerians to avoid the temptation of weaponizing the use of force that are not credible to cause confusion in the policy. On behalf of the National Peace Committee, I urge all stakeholders to understand this event has the potential of setting a positive trajectory in our journey to a peaceful and more democratized Nigeria. I call on all political actors, key stakeholders, and Nigerians in general to support a peaceful transition, promote the ideals of peace and violence-free post-election period. I urge all politicians who will sign the accord to fully commit themselves to the letter and spirit of the accord. Your Excellency, Mr. President, I want to thank you for taking your time to join us at this moment of history in the life of Nigeria's growing democracy. With your permission, Your Excellency, I would want the members of the Peace Committee to please rise for recognition. Members of the Peace Committee. Please sit down. Your Excellency, thank you very much. May God bless and protect the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you for listening.
Once more, let's appreciate His Excellency, General Abdulsalami Abubakar, Chairman of the National Peace Committee, for his welcome remarks. And just to again invite the attention of all in the audience, if you have a copy of the program, the back page, you have the photographs of the members of the National Peace Committee. Highly esteemed Nigerians, been in positions of authority, in academia, in politics, in business, in law, and more. Take a look at it, and in the course of the proceedings, we might have time to individually recognize them. I have the permission of the chairman of the National Peace Committee to announce the apologies sent in by two former presidents of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. They were expected at this very important event, but they had other engagements of a supranational nature. First, former President Olusegun Obasanjo, who is currently in Addis Ababa on an AU assignment. He sends his apologies. Second is former President Goodluck Jonathan, who is currently in Mali on an ECOWAS assignment. And I'm sure that the significance of the physical presence of the two former presidents would not have been lost on us today. In 2015, that momentous occasion, 31st of March, at 4:45, we had a unique encounter in our country when the incumbent president, they then challenged to congratulate him on the outcome of the 2015 elections. One of the participants, statesman, incumbent President Muhammadu Buhari. Your Excellency, once again, thank you very much for your kindness in piloting the affairs of the country as an incumbent after defeating an incumbent. Just a few months left, and there are a number of applicants for your position, 18 of them. Your Excellencies, very distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it will be time for us now to take goodwill messages. We have 8 dignitaries who will be delivering the goodwill messages. And once again, I have the instructions of the Secretariat earlier conveyed to our esteemed guests that the goodwill messages should be restricted to no more than 2 minutes. We could stretch it to about 3 minutes, so we're gaining time and be in a position to take care of the other very critical items of the program. But before I do that, let me recognize in our midst the National Security Advisor to His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic, General Babangana. The first goodwill message will be coming from the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu. Professor Yakubu, first goodwill message. The Chief Electoral Umpire. In a matter of days, this for let us know how the candidates have fared.
Okay, thank you very much. Your Excellency, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Your Excellency, the Chairman of the National Peace Committee, and Chairman, candidates of the 18 political parties, Your Excellencies, Your Royal Highnesses, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I want to first of all appreciate the untiring effort of the National Peace Committee for convening this important event. This is the third peace accord to be signed by political parties and candidates on the eve of a general election in Nigeria since 2015, and the 9th overall, if we include the accord signed before the commencement of the electioneering campaign in September last year and ahead of 5 off-cycle governorship elections in Edo and Ondo in 2020, Anambra 2021, and Ekiti and Osun states in 2022. The signing of the peace accord today comes at a critical moment in the electoral calendar. Campaign for presidential and National Assembly elections ends at midnight tomorrow, Thursday, 23rd February 2023. Election will hold on Saturday this week. INEC is ready. This morning, we commenced the movement of sensitive materials to the various local government areas nationwide. By Friday, we will activate the registration area centers so that at first light on Saturday, polling units will open on time. The Commission is committed to free, fair, and credible elections in compliance with the electoral legal framework and the letter and spirit of the peace accord. All political parties and candidates are hereby reassured of the Commission's neutrality. INEC is not a political party. We have no candidate in the election. Our allegiance is to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and our loyalty is to Nigerians. Therefore, Nigerians should feel confident that their votes will count. Over the next 2 days, beginning from tomorrow, Thursday, the Commission will be holding daily media briefing at 3 p.m. This briefing will hold at this venue. The purpose is to provide update on preparations for the election and to respond to issues that may arise. The briefing is open to political parties, civil society organizations, observers, the media, and security agencies. Once again, the Commission appreciates the work of the National Peace Committee, and we urge political parties and candidates to abide by the letter and spirit of the accord. I look forward to meeting eligible voters at the polling units on Election Day on Saturday, 25th February 2023. The polling units will open in the next 2 days, if I'm not mistaken, 2 days, 17 hours, a few minutes and a few seconds, and they are ticking. May God bless our efforts.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu. Reassuring, INEC is ready. The next goodwill message will be from the Inspector General of Police, Usman Alkali Baba.
Your Excellency, Mr. President, Your Excellency, Chairman, National Peace Committee, former President present here, Chairman and Presidential of all the political parties present here, all other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is with a deep sense of responsibility that I stand before you all on this obvious occasion of the signing of the National Peace Accord to lend a patriotic voice to this very novel and all-important pre-election commitment. The significance of this sustained signing of the Peace Accord over the years has remained an indelible part of our democratic history and journey. More so, as it provides us as leaders, contestants, party faithfuls, and people saddled with leadership responsibilities across different spheres of our diverse political inclinations. Law enforcement agents, the umpire, observers, social media influencers, custodians of culture and traditions, religious ethos and morals to lend our voice to this cause, while at the same time make bold commitment to the peaceful conduct of elections before, during, and after. The first signing of the Peace Accord took place here on the 29th of September 2022, and it was based on adhering to issue-based campaigns. We monitored, observed, and made efforts to regulate the campaign, rallies, and processions. It was not a complete success because of lack of adherence. However, it had served some purpose in our efforts to mediate some of the conflicts when we remind officers of that accord. It is to be noted, sir, Mr. President, at various local and international commitments, has consistently affirmed his commitment to bequeathing a legacy of deepening democratic system and credible electoral process to the nation. He has demonstrated this commitment by constantly charging all agencies linked to the democratic process to internalize the ethics of democracy. We are appealing to all political actors to face their sword and borrow a leaf from Mr. President to allow the election to hold in a peaceful and credible manner. We are therefore calling on the political actors to call on their teaming supporters to conduct themselves in a peaceful manner, devoid of rancor and anything capable of jeopardizing the peaceful conduct of the 2023 general election. Lastly, we are not praying to witness another Orubebe incident here. However, if this is to occur, I implore Professor Mahmoud Yakubu to behave like Professor Atairu Jega, who had handled the situation in a professional manner. Finally, it is our prayer that contestants will emulate former President Goodluck Jonathan by accepting defeat. In conclusion, I would like to acknowledge that the peace accord being signed today represents a critical step toward complementing Mr. President's initiative in striving in striving to have a conclusive consensus commitment by all political parties, candidates, and their agents to a path of conducting credible, free, fair elections. On behalf of all the security agents, I wish to assure Mr. President all Nigerians of our unflinching and unalloyed loyalty to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Inspector General of Police Usman Alkali Baba, for the goodwill message. We can't run away from history, and especially recent history. So when he made reference to the Orubebe incident, I'm sure those of us who were here in 2015 would know what that meant. And in a matter of days, the INEC chairman will of course be on this stage to collate and, as the chief returning officer, announce the final results of the presidential election. But happily, we also remember what happened on the 31st of March 2015, when, as I said earlier, candidate and challenger Muhammadu Buhari received a telephone call from the incumbent at 5:15 in the afternoon, conceding the election. A lesson that is unforgettable in our history. The next goodwill message will come from Her Excellency Samuela Isopi, Ambassador of the European Union to Nigeria and ECOWAS. Her Excellency.
Mr. President, Mr. Chairman, Excellencies, I thank you for the opportunity to address you today on behalf of the European Union. The 2019 peace accords facilitated by the National Peace Committee played a crucial role in advancing the integrity of the elections, and we welcome today's event. It has been 4 months since the first 2023 National Peace Accord was signed, committing presidential candidates and parties to issue-based and peaceful campaigns. As we gather today, 3 days before a crucial general election, more than ever, the unity and stability of the country depend on you. The world is watching, and Nigerians are hopeful for a peaceful process and expect each vote to count. Democracy is under threat in Africa and across the globe. In 2015, Nigeria set the example for Africa and the world with a peaceful transition of power from one civilian administration to another. As the largest democracy on the continent, it is our hope that Nigeria will continue to lead by example and send a strong message to the world by further consolidating its democracy through a credible, transparent, and peaceful election. Mr. President, we welcome your commitment to leave a legacy of credible and inclusive pro-electoral process, and we urge all stakeholders to support you in fulfilling this objective. You, the candidates and political leaders, have a vital role to play and a key responsibility in placing the peace and unity of Nigeria above all other interests. We call on all parties and candidates to accept the results of the elections that we are certain will be credible and inclusive. We encourage them to use the appropriate legal means to seek redress and to contribute to a peaceful transition. Everyone has a role to play in lending full support and respecting the fundamental and independent role of INEC. Security forces have a key responsibility in remaining neutral and guaranteeing the safety of all voters, including women, people with disabilities, and all vulnerable groups. We all strongly support media freedom and the importance of independent, professional, and responsible media coverage. We encourage the judiciary to remain an impartial arbiter by ensuring fair and just adjudication of electoral matters. I wish to commend the role of the National Peace Committee and the leadership of His Excellency, former Head of State, Abdussalami Abubakar, since its inauguration ahead of the 2015 polls. Mr. Chairman, we are honored and proud of our partnership. For us, at the European Union, we wish to reiterate our impartiality and recall our role. We are not here to support any candidate or party. We are here at the invitation of the Nigerian government to support the democratic process. An EU election observation mission led by Chief Observer MEP Barry Andrews is deployed under Nigerian invitation to observe the elections across the country and give its independent assessment and contribution to the continuous deepening of Nigeria's democracy. As the European Union, together with our member states, we remain fully committed to contributing to making Nigeria's democracy deeper, stronger, and accountable to its people. A democratic, peaceful, stable, and strong Nigeria is in the interest of all of us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Samuela Isopi, Ambassador of the European Union to Nigeria and ECOWAS. May I respectfully invite His Excellency Nicolas Lang, Ambassador of Switzerland to Nigeria, to give his goodwill message.
Your Excellency, Mr. President, Your Excellency, Mr. Chairman of the National Peace Committee, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. My country, Switzerland, is often called a model democracy. However, it has not always been one. A significant part of Swiss history was marked by internal conflict and division. Conflict between cultures, religions, and regions. It took centuries to consolidate our democracy, which, like Nigeria's, is built on a federal model. Elaborating a carefully balanced constitution and building solid institutions takes time and leadership. But laws and institutions do not suffice. For a democracy to flourish, there is a need for shared democratic values and virtues. Submitting to the majority's decision is one such virtue. Another, less often mentioned, is the majority's obligation to also cater to the needs of the minorities. Democratic government does not limit itself to the exercise of power, but constantly strives for consensus and compromise, since its very purpose is to improve the lives of all. Democracy also imperatively requires the government to be based on a legitimate mandate, in order for all citizens to be able to accept its decisions. The Independent National Electoral Commission therefore deserves praise for its monumental efforts to secure free, fair, and credible elections. As for the National Peace Committee, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, of which Switzerland has been a proud partner for years, today's ceremony shows that its commitment to fostering democratic values and virtues is compelling. On behalf of the Swiss government, I wholeheartedly commend the MPC for its tireless dedication to the strengthening of the country's democracy. And I wish Nigeria and
Ms. Giovanni Biha.
Your Excellency, President Muhammad Buhari, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please permit me to stand on protocols already established. I bring you fraternal greetings from the United Nations Secretary General, Mr. Antonio Guterres, whom, as you know, is closely following the developments in Nigeria, especially at this crucial electoral period. On behalf of the United Nations, I would like to commend the National Peace Committee under the leadership of General Abdul Salam Abubakar, once again, the key stakeholders and actors together to come to peaceful elections through the signing of the Second Peace Accord. I'd like to reiterate the United Nations' continued support in this regard, to recognize the partnership between the United Nations and the National Peace Committee, through which we jointly organized 5 high-level stakeholders: Kaduna, Kano, Rivers, the key stakeholders at state level, as well as in enabling them to make concrete commitments to peaceful elections similar to today's events. In addition to these events, the United Nations has supported the INEC and other stakeholders to promote voter education and the participation of women and youth, as well as enhance the respect of human rights and the rule of law during the electoral process. The United Nations would like to recognize the immense efforts undertaken by INEC with support of government and other stakeholders in the organization of the elections. The United Nations would therefore like to encourage all political actors and their supporters to fully respect the provisions of all peace accords in order to create the enabling environment for peaceful elections essential for sustainable peace and development of Nigeria. The general elections are of major significance to Nigeria, the West Africa region, and the continent. Peaceful elections in Nigeria will not only send a clear and positive message to the rest of the region and the continent, but will also reinforce Nigeria's leadership role in this regard. In conclusion, while today's signing is indicative of the commitment to peaceful elections by political parties, it is our hope that it will lead to more concrete and concerted action for peace to reign during and after the elections, so that Nigeria ultimately emerge as the winner. And before I conclude, I would like to talk on a personal basis as daughter of this continent, that all daughters and sons of this continent are really looking to these elections for the future of the continent. I thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you very much. The acting special rep of the UN Secretary General for West Africa and the Sahel and head of UNOWAS. The next goodwill message will be taken from Right Honorable Baroness Patricia Scotland, Secretary General of the Commonwealth. She was here in 2019. I remember that this same auditorium. Baroness Patricia Scotland. When she came in 2019, the suffix to her name was Queen's Counsel. It is KC, meaning King's Counsel.
Your Excellency, President Buhari, I stand protocols which have been already established. As Secretary General of the Commonwealth of Nations, it is an honor and a privilege to be with you once again, presenting our of nations, 56 and 2.5 billion people at the signing of this peace accord. You know that your blood runs in my veins. This is an historic Ash Wednesday. We gather on the cusp of the 7th general election since Nigeria's return to democracy rule in 1999. I remember standing here before the leaders and peoples of this great country in 2019 and being conscious that as I did so, and as I do now, of the size and majesty of this great country, its brilliance, the charm of its people, the feeling that the whole continent held its breath, waiting to see what this great country of Nigeria would do, in which direction it would go. And it is the same feeling today. Why is this election uniquely important? Because you are Nigeria, the powerhouse of Africa and the world's rising star, a political, economic, intellectual, spiritual, innovation, cultural, and culinary giant. A nation enriched by your myriad of differences and strengthened by your shared desire to live dignified lives. A proud nation which has decided to take the path of peace. It is not an easy path. It is only taken by the brave, the resilient, the relentless, the courageous, the selfless. Forgiveness, forbearance, turning the other cheek. It's not for the weak in spirit. It's for the strong. It's the path to justice, the path and highway for democracy. It's the path which the prayer warriors of this world for peace thirst. I'm asking every person who participates in this election to be brave enough to take it. Those who lead and those who follow. Because you are Nigeria, bursting with energy and daring of a youthful people and willing to shape the future of this nation. Because you are Nigeria, in these uncertain times, stability through change and transition is vital for you, for Africa, and for the entire democratic world. Governing a country of such scale, dynamism, and diversity takes enormous courage, skill, and heart. And I applaud all the leaders who take the pledge today. Leadership comes with a solemn responsibility because the office of the president is a sacred trust. It is a promise each of you is making before the people you strive to serve, to put your country above yourself, to unify Nigeria for a new generation of Nigerians who can be proud of their land and thrive in it. It is a heavy burden, but this is your moment to enhance Nigeria's democracy, to show that we can live with love and respect for each other, even when we disagree. This great nation has given Africa, the Commonwealth, and the world so much, and the hour has come again to show who you are, what you care about, and what you strive for. The eyes of more than 210 million proud and hopeful Nigerians, the eyes of 1.3 billion and the 2.5 billion people in the Commonwealth, all of their eyes visit a land where all our communities live together in peace and harmony, where we turn our minds to God, we seek his guidance and assistance, and by his grace we shall succeed. I am Commonwealth with you. God bless you all, and God bless the people of the great Federal Republic of Nigeria.
She has expressed for and on behalf of Nigeria and Nigerians. Because of who we are, we have to get it right. I respectfully now invite Sydenews Abbas Ibrahima, His Excellency, the Cameroonian High Commissioner to Nigeria and Dean of the Diplomatic Community in Nigeria. Your Excellency, not immediately available. Very quickly then, we move on to the President of the ECOWAS Commission, His Excellency Dr. Omar Aliu, the last in the series of good wishes on this occasion. Your Excellency.
Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, Excellency former President General Abdulsalami Abubakar, Commission and all ECOWAS institutions, to most sincerely commend His Excellency General Abdulsalami Abubakar and the National Peace Committee for convening this important event, that is the signing of the Second National Peace Accord for free, fair, peaceful, safe and credible 2023 general elections. Experience has shown that the signing of peace accords and commitment by political actors and stakeholders to the content of the signed accord. The ECOWAS Commission sincerely hopes that presents another opportunity for presidential candidates to renew their governance. Governance for peace. It is in this spirit that the ECOWAS Commission has deployed some 250 electoral observers across the country under the leadership of His Excellency Ernest Koroma, former president of Sierra Leone, who arrived. This is the largest election observation mission ECOWAS has deployed in recent years. Of Nigeria, in the region, and indeed on the continent. We are therefore honored to have been invited to witness the signing of the second national accord and wish to appeal to all the presidential candidates to therefore my honor and pleasure to congratulate Nigeria in advance. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Dr. Sowore. Who is leader indicates contingent of observers and monitors witnessing playback on video on the screens. We do that. We're getting chairmen of the parties and the candidates to step forward and subscribe to. But you permit me to indicate the Omoyele, Accord, Major Hamza Al-Safar,
Senator Bola Tinubu, All Progressives Congress. All Progressive Grand Alliance. Princess Chichi Oje, Allied Sunday Oluwafe Party. Boot. Not for playing soccer, or not for the ones you use, the kind of footwear you use on the parade ground. It's actually an acronym, meaning because of our tomorrow. Which reminds me, His Excellency Thabo Mbeki, in the 1994 first non-racial elections in South Africa, there was a political party called KISS. Keep it simple and straight, or keep it straight and simple. Is this still in existence? It's faded, or we'll discuss that later, Your Excellency. Thank you very much. So there was KISS, and on Saturday we'll be having booths here in Nigeria. His Excellency Gregory Peter Obi, Labour Party. His Excellency Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, New Nigeria People's Party. Felix Johnson Osakwe, National Rescue Movement. His Excellency Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, People's Democratic Party. Latifu Abiola, People's Redemption Party, is the first son of Chief Ed. Nwayao Zenith Labour Party. 18 presidential candidates for the February 25th, 2025 presidential election. The national read out on the screen.
(2023) National Peace Accord of Violence under the auspices of the National Peace Committee, NPC. I, the undersigned presidential candidate and chairperson of the underlisted political party contesting in the 2023 general elections, reaffirm my commitment to take proactive measures towards the creation of a conducive environment for the conduct of free, fair, credible, transparent, and verifiable elections, cognizant of the need to maintain a peaceful environment before, during, and after the 2023 general elections, peaceful, transparent, and credible electoral process. 2. To accept and abide by the outcome of the 2023 presidential elections, and if issues should arise, I will deploy constitutional means and appeal to the courts rather than other unconstitutional means. 3. To support all institutions of government involved in conducting or securing elections, in particular the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) and the security agencies, to enable them act with professionalism, impartiality, and transparency. That I, my spokespersons, party spokespersons, members and supporters refrain from intimidations, incitements, bribery, vote trading, and violence in subversion of the electoral process that may compromise the integrity of the ballot and the security of Nigerians and non-Nigerians before, during, and after the elections. 5. To respect that the results can only be announced by INEC and to accept the outcome of the accordance with the provisions of the law, and where agreed, lawful and to seek that I Party spokespersons, members and supporters refrain from disseminating fake news, misinformation and disinformation, particularly as it relates to reporting of any election results before verified by INEC. 7. To condemn publicly and privately instigators of and affiliations. 8. In the event that any electoral dispute that may arise, to follow due process by resorting statesmanship, putting the country first before party interest. 9. To cooperate with the National Peace Committee, a body made up of respected statesmen and women, traditional and religious leaders, in its mission to monitor adherence to these accord. 10. To abide by the letter and spirit of this accord, and if my actions and utterances or those of my party or supporters violate the principles of this accord, I accept that I and my party will be held accountable in accordance with the laws and constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. 11. To accept full application of national and international laws against any subversion of the electoral process. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Distinguished guests, party chairmen, and presidential candidates. Of the Second National Peace Accord. May I therefore respectfully invite the presidential candidates to step up the platform Second National Peace Accord. The candidates will be called according to the names on the list in alphabetical order. And while the signing is going on, you will be directed. We have a number of tables just behind me, and it's also in alphabetical order. The candidate and the chairman of the party. And a word of advice from the protocol of the State House. Camera persons, please stay where you are. You may wish to get better angle shots, but everyone should avoid, as a camera person, avoid the foreground, which already has a barrier. AacParty, Christopher Omoyele. Let's come here to the first table, and of course, along with your chairman. Major Hamza Al-Mustafa Action Alliance, along with the chairman. Omoyele Sowore African Action Congress, along with the chair. Kumebi Kachiku African Democratic Congress, along with the chair. Engineer Yusuf Sani Yabagi Action Democratic Party, along with the chair. Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu of Progressive Congress, along with the chair. Peter Nana Umadi, All Progressive Grand Alliance, along with the chair. Princess Chichi Oje, Allied People's Movement, along with the chair. Charles Osita Nnamdi, Action People's Party, along with the chair. Sunday Oluwafemi Adenuga, Boot Party, along with the chair. His Excellency Gregory Peter Obi, Labour Party, along with the chair. His Excellency Rabiu Musa Kwankwanso, New Nigeria People's Party, along with the chair. Johnson Osakwe, National Rescue Movement, along with His Excellency People's People's Democratic Party, along with Latifu Kolawole Abiola, People's Party, along with the chair. Adewale Ebenezer Adebayo, Social Democratic Party, along with the chair. Prince Abdul Malik Ado Ibrahim, Young Party, along with the chair. Chief Daniel Zenith Labour Party, along with the chair. After subscribing to the second national, the party chairman and the presidential candidates are kindly requested to stay back for a photo opportunity. So you sign and then you treat just in front of the banner. As well as the chairman, the political